Well, to the other person in this world who I think actually might fly more than me. It's probably close, but you're definitely in the running. Acacia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I know I've been on a plane like every 3 days for the last few weeks. I'm in week 4 now of 5 weeks as a nomad.
Yeah. That's impressive. Yeah,
so we're getting there.
Well, let's get to Owen Almighty, and these are my words, not yours. But and no one's giving anyone a hard time, but I do think this probably goes down in the Hall of Fame for one of the strongest owner pick the spots. It just felt like every time Brian Lynch had a microphone in front of his face, it felt like maybe cutting this horse back, going a little bit shorter. The 1.25 miles was a question, but it just seems like Derby fever is a real fever, and the connections of Owen Almighty have it. You've seen this horse a couple of times. What are your thoughts about the distance of 1.25 miles for Owen Almighty?
Yeah, I saw Owen Almighty all 3 times he raced at Tampa Bay Downs, and I think he's a super cool horse. But to your point, I mean, even before the Tampa Bay Derby, and then even after he won the Tampa Bay Derby, Brian Lynch told me in the interview right after, I'm still leaning towards Pat Day Mile, which I was thinking, that's awesome. That's going to be perfect for this horse because he's kind of built that way a bit more. He's by Speightstown. There's plenty of speed. I know there's some stamina on the bottom side with the Bayern influence, but in the way that he's put together, he's just so quick looking, and he's obviously been able to use his speed to his advantage. I even wrote in my notes down when I saw him in Pasco going 7 furlongs, fine today, but I wouldn't want him much further than that. And he ran huge in the Sam F. Davis. He ran huge in the Tampa Bay Derby, but Tampa Bay Derby, he was able to get along with some pretty soft fractions on the front end for the caliber of horse they was racing against. And then in the Pasco, they went 1-2, or excuse me, in the Sam Davis, they went 1-2 around. And that was a day when inside speed was a huge benefit, as we saw for John Hancock, who won that race. So I think it's a little bit tricky. He tried hard in the bluegrass, but East Avenue of the pace setters was able to hold around while Owen Almighty was not. I'm sure closers in the Kentucky Derby field are thrilled that he's going in there. It's not my horse, not my decision, but personally, I would have been far more in favor of him if he were in the Pat Day Mile.
Want to let folks know this video brought to you by our friends at TwinSpires.com, the Kentucky Derby betting challenge coming up on Derby Day. You can qualify all month long. TwinSpires.com, navigate over to that tournaments tab. Get involved with horse racing's latest major tournament.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where, you mentioned it, that Tampa Bay Derby, I think, might have tricked some folks into thinking he wants to go that far because he did it that day. But like you mentioned, that racetrack was a little bit biased, and he was probably on the right part of that racetrack to kind of carry him along. For the new listeners and viewers we get for this time of the year for Derby, it's kind of like that walking conveyor belt in the airport that I know Acacia is very familiar with. Just kind of carries you along a little bit. I think that's what happened to him in the Tampa Bay Derby. If you were trying to be optimistic, what do you think the ceiling is for him on the first Saturday in May? Do you think he's the type of horse that could be involved late and hit the board, or do you just feel like they're going to get the experience of the walkover and all of the excitement of the Derby, and then maybe some more fun things along the line in the summer when he goes a little bit shorter?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, historically, throughout the Kentucky Derby, you've seen a lot of horses in the first flight do really well. I think the last couple of years we've seen more deep closers, and this year, just looking at the way the race is potentially shaping up, it looks like there could be a pretty hot pace in the Derby, and you will see some of the closers appreciate that and come rolling late. However, I do wonder, you never know what the weather's going to be like in Louisville that time of year. You never know how the race dynamics are going to shake out. You never know if one of the other speed horses gets completely wiped out at the gate with 19 other horses breaking out. I mean, there's all of those things that can happen. And he has speed. That's the name of his game. And that's, I think, one of his biggest weapons. He's a really cool horse. And I thought that he really progressed a lot throughout the winter in all the races he ran down at Tampa. I think, thus far, Brian's done a great job managing him and putting him in the right spots to potentially pick up some points or pick up some big wins or placings. I think it's going to be a tall order for him going into the Derby. But like I said, with that size of field, he's one that if he breaks well and gets that forward position, he's not going to have to deal with the traffic that some of the others are.
Acacia Clement, I appreciate you taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your day at Oaklawn. Have fun at the show. I'm not working today. I work tomorrow, so I'll see you tomorrow or hear you tomorrow.
Very good. I look forward to it. I miss you. I haven't actually seen you in person in a long time.
It's been a while. Soon enough, we'll see each other every day. Almost.
Very good.